The Western North Carolina Conference of the United Methodist Church is composed of 44 counties, which include the cities of Charlotte and Greensboro, in an area that extends to the Tennessee, Virginia, South Carolina, and Georgia borders. We are 643 churches with 173,159 members. In addition, we gather in 200 fresh expressions of church, 16 emerging communities, 12 campus ministries, and 10 new church plants. Our mission also includes 5 colleges, 3 retirement communities, 3 camps, and an initiative with children who have experienced trauma. And the ministries of Lake Junaluska Assembly and the Hinton Center are located here. Along with the North Carolina Conference, the Charlotte Episcopal area was blessed to host the General Conference in May 2024 in Uptown Charlotte. Over 1,000 laity and clergy gave extraordinary hospitality. Many of our local choirs and musicians contributed to the worship of the global gatherings, and visiting missionaries, bishops, and pastors preached in churches across our annual conference. An interpretive webinar held following the General Conference has received more than 21,000 views. Significant outcomes of the General Conference: we removed the discriminatory language against the LGBTQIA+ community and reaffirmed that we are a community and a church that proudly includes traditional, moderate, and progressive people under the cross of Jesus Christ with the flame of the Holy Spirit, whose first fruit is love. We are blessed with 739 active clergy who serve local churches and in extension ministries. These clergy have led faithfully through a season of a pandemic, polarization, and disaffiliation. Preachers are offering Christ to persons who gather in sanctuaries and increasingly who worship online. The faith is being shared with next generations in our campus ministries, in confirmation retreats, in summer camps, and in vacation Bible schools. Many churches are learning to become more externally focused, offering meals for the hungry, repurposing their buildings for unhoused persons, and tutoring children in elementary schools in the spirit of Matthew 25. Over 100 lighthouse churches have identified themselves publicly as sanctuaries for all people without exception through the grace of Jesus Christ. Many of our churches are finding their voices for a more just world, especially in response to racism, poverty, violence, extremism, and exclusion. There's an undeniable pivot as our leaders move beyond the season of lawsuits and disaffiliation. We are focused on the future, building up and encouraging our members, 1 Corinthians 12, seeing and developing their gifts, and seeing the many people who are beyond the walls of our church buildings. We are blessed with partners who have walked with us over the past years, especially the United Methodist Foundation of Western North Carolina, the Duke Endowment, and the Parish Ministry Fund. Our partners have helped us to establish and continue offerings in leadership development, clergy well-being, the mentoring of younger clergy, church planting, resourcing present and future district superintendents, and doctoral programs with Duke Divinity School in the areas of rural church leadership and missional innovation. We continue to do the work of anti-racism as an expression of discipleship and sanctification. Over the last quadrennium, all clergy and many laity have participated in anti-racism training. We are intentionally moving toward reduction of the salary gap for clergy of color and clergy women through the appointive process and just compensation schedules. We have held gatherings of our youth and provisional clergy at the International Civil Rights Museum in Greensboro, and hosted the Southeastern Regional Conference of Black Methodists for Church Renewal. We anticipate the development of pilgrimages in the future to Greensboro and Cherokee. The national gathering of the Reconciling Ministries Network was held in Charlotte. We are supporting the development of curriculum for churches and camping experiences that integrate the values of discipleship and the inclusion of LGBTQIA+ persons. Our appointed cabinet had done previous work on an expanded profile for churches and clergy that anticipated many of the outcomes of the General Conference. We have sought to honor conscience, build trust, and provide safe places for ministry among all whom God is calling. Our focus on fresh expressions of church has included hosting the first national gathering of Fresh Expressions United Methodist, again in Charlotte, hosting denominational training prior to the General Conference, and creating communities of listening and discipleship beyond our church walls. We have also experimented by having a presence in public spaces such as Merle Fest, a large music festival, and the Hickory Crawdads, minor league baseball. These are experiences of wonderful fellowship and help to build an awareness of who we are. We are a connectional church. Our apportionment is the third largest in the denomination, and we have supported the essential characteristic of connectionalism through financial giving, through our leaders who serve the broader connection, and through flexibility in partnering for a season in a shared Episcopal assignment with the Florida Conference. We have also sought to be good and prudent stewards of God's resources and have reset our budget for a sustainable and vital future. We celebrate the fact that over 97% of offerings received in local churches remain in those local churches to do the essential work of making disciples and building community. We are on a journey of grace, connection, and holiness. I'm blessed to serve this area, my home annual conference, where I was a local church pastor for 28 years. I give thanks to God for you. Thank you for being a follower of Jesus Christ. And thank you for expressing that decision as a member of the United Methodist Church.